Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. And let's meet an indie agency. Where the hell are we going today? Where is everybody today? I didn't ask before we started this week. You're in New York. Is everybody in New York?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
NYC.
Upper West Side.
Brooklyn.
Gramercy.
Gramercy. My brother had a place in Gramercy. So, and I'm disappointed that the Gramercy Hotel is gone because the restaurant there had some of the best ravioli in the city.
Yes, it
You had one big ravioli. Remember that thing?
Yeah.
But it's funny. They opened 2 new restaurants from the same chefs.
Yeah,
so I'll send you that information later.
Yeah, one closes, 2 come up, right? Like,
that's the very New York way. And then Sarah, you're by Zabar's, so there you go.
Thank you. Yes, very close. Very close.
I mean, who doesn't like a good Zabar's?
The most intimidating cheese counter in the world.
Not unless you're the folks from Oh Hello.
Yeah.
John Mulaney and Nick Kroll. I mean, let's be honest. All right, so House of Rabbits, you're relatively new to this game. So I want to go backstory on this one. Let's get into the meat of how and why you got this thing started. Who wants that one? Do I nominate somebody? I'm gonna Susan was nodding enthusiasally, so I'm gonna start with Susan. So Susan, go.
Yeah. So in the previous life, we were all rabbits. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
So we actually worked together years and years ago at Saatchi, and that's how we all met at Tide. And so when we first kind of started to venture out on our own, all for different reasons, we reconnected and we started to talk about, this would be a really exciting thing to do. Why not? Honestly, right now, the energy in the indie community is fantastic. And we were like, we want to be a part of that. That seems very exciting. Let's just be crazy and do our own thing. Let's go for it.
Yeah, no, I like that. Is that track, Daniela?
Yeah.
Am I telling lies?
No.
So it's just such a liar, just so you know. No, we've been friends for the longest time. We've worked together. Like, I think Susan and I have worked together for over 15 years.
Oh, wow.
But Sarah had a very long impression with us. We worked together on Tide. She left us, and then we left, and she went back. But she was always on our list of, who are the people that I want to work with again, if you could. She was always on top of it. So it was amazing when we reconnected last year, and we were like, oh, I don't know, she would want to go do this with us, but then said yes. So so it's
right.
And the rest
I'm blushing. You can see I'm dying here.
What's your take on this story, Sarah?
I answered something off of Craigslist. I don't know what you said.
Oh my God.
I was so lucky. Yeah, I was looking for a house rental, and this House of Rabbits came up. No.
Oh, that's fun.
They are the best. I was so lucky to be back in touch with Susan and Daniela after our careers kind of went like, waves in and out. Right. And they told me about this idea they had and had something to do with rabbits. And I was like, oh my gosh, tell me more. Daniela showed me this amazing, presentation they had put together. And I was like, that is so cool. I love it. And I mean, these 2 are the best. They're so talented. There's so much fun, and it was easy. It was an easy yes.
So let's talk about, again, it's early days on this. And usually when we talk to an agency, when we do meet an indie agency, they've had at least, usually 6 months, a year under their belts. And we generally ask, what would you say the top 3 core strengths or solutions that you're providing for marketers are? And so obviously you know where you're going with this, and it will build over time. But what would you say to a marketer or CMO and saying, hey, what are the top 3 solutions you can bring to me?
Yeah, I think honestly, like, we talk ourselves a lot about to ourselves, like, what is our core thing? What is our superpower? I think, when you boil it down, it's like us, like our experience. Like, we have been in the industry for a long time. We've led the biggest accounts, the biggest agencies. We also worked with startups. Like, we've done a lot. So I think when a client comes to House of Rabbits, they're going to be looking for us for a talent and being able to work directly with us. It's kind of the differentiation between us and probably going to, a bigger agency. But because we're rabbits, we're, and the reason why, everybody asks us why rabbits, like we're looking at their things we love about them, that we feel like there's a Venn diagram with us.
Right.
It's their ingenuity, just also creativity. They're really fast, agile. We think we like to do work like that. We don't like to, stay, overthinking things for too long,
Right.
which is a thing in this industry. And also keen senses. I think, in a world where there's so much data, which is great. You get data. There's something about intuition and just using your senses and just kind of helping you guide. And I think it's also great for a small business to have that. So those are the things we aspire to with rabbits that I think are our core capabilities.
Yeah. So it was definitely by design. I mean, obviously we love rabbits because they're irresistible, but it was also for us a very kind of intuitive way to say what we stand for and all the things, all the traits that these rabbits have. We think that good creatives have as well.
Right. And then Sarah, on your side of it.
This all checks out, everything they said.
Right. Right.
I mean, and like I said, they sold me on this beautiful visual identity that we've created for rabbits, and that, and working with Susan and Daniela.
Yeah, and so go back to Saatchi days, right? So
we all worked together on Tide.
What years were that? Because that's like go-go days of advertising.
Those were the glory days, right? Like, and we always laugh because we thought we had it really hard back then. Remember, everybody complained about their job and it was so tough. But then now you look back, it was so much fun. We worked together, crossed over between 2008 and 2013, more or less. 2012.
I think
so. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm a Mark Pritchard fan, so I really like him.
Love.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what I told him. So he was at Ad Color. God, I forget what year it was, but he was talking about his Mexican heritage, and and this is the truth. I'm not going to bullshit anybody. I said, I've always really respected him. I said, I've always really respected you, but after that speech, I admire you even more. And it's the truth. I mean, I think that he's done a remarkable job. I don't want to turn this into the Mark Pritchard show, but it might. Damon Jones, they're fantastic. And so, I see that consistency that's been there for a very long time. And I also know that Mark very much values creativity, but also making sure that it connects to the business. But I love that he gives a little bit of a berth for people to discover how it's going to work best for them so that it's best for the business. Mm-hmm. And so that's, it's something that if you're going to be watching a marketer, and there's tons of marketers like that. I mean, you got Raja at MasterCard, just start rattling off. Who's that?
We worked with Raja as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Raja's one of the GOATs. And so, I don't know where I'm going with this conversation. Because
I think it's interesting though. Sorry to interrupt you, Doug.
No. Please do. Please bail me out.
Well, I will bring it back to House of Rabbits because I think a lot of what we talk about is using creativity as a tool to transform clients' brands and businesses. And I more recently, previously before House of Rabbits, spent a lot of time working on fabric care for Procter & Gamble. And so, Mark and the people there are just wonderful. But we saw how creativity could do just that. And that is the heart of Daniela and Susan's experience as creatives, working on huge brands, brands with very lofty, complicated business problems or challenges, like AT&T, MasterCard. And so I think that is, a bit of our experience and what we try to attract at House of Rabbits, clients that want to use creativity as a tool and value creativity, because that's what we're all about.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And, I think that part of the fun of it too is by the way, I mean, we're a Tide and Unstoppables family, by the way. I can't live, 2 teenagers can't live without Unstoppables. Okay. So here's one thing I want to point out. You've mentioned that, of course, rabbits are cute. Rabbits are all that. I want to know if any of you are familiar with that. Flemish giant rabbit. Are you
We are
familiar
looking
with
to
it? Are you
grow.
familiar with this?
No.
No.
Oh, amazing.
Tell us.
It's basically a rabbit dog. I mean, look at that. You got,
Wow.
that's that doesn't look like a large bunny, but that is a large bunny. Look at that. Oh
Wow.
my God.
That is a BA bunny.
But I mean, this one is,
Yeah.
yeah.
That one almost looks photoshopped, but I believe it.
No, it's the
It has
truth. That's why it's called the Flemish giant rabbit.
Oh, it's Flemish. Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
That explains.
Maybe
Makes sense.
year 2 we'll procure one of those in the. It'll stay at Daniela's apartment.
Right.
We'll call them, see if they need an agency.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of procurement, and I think this conversation is going to go a little bit differently since you're relatively new. That having that gear as an independent is really, really important. Being able to navigate the procurement side of it. What would you tell an indie? This is turning into like a little advice column here. What would you tell an indie that maybe doesn't have that much experience or is maybe intimidated by procurement? What would you suggest they do to just get better at it?
Yeah, I think it's, I feel like once you have a couple of meetings for procurement,
Oh, geez.
you just need to start and maybe ahead knowing what they're looking for, right? Because I think sometimes when you present your capabilities, you're focusing more on the vertical, but maybe they're looking for something super specific. I think just doing a little detective work and understanding the business, obviously, because companies are so vast. Like you could be looking at brand work, but there may be like, oh, there is this really cool B2B thing we're doing I don't even know about, right? So there's just like understanding how complex companies are and being open to every possibility, because know that when they're interviewing you, they may have something in mind. It'll be great. It's great when you have the perfect fit. I think that's when you can be the most successful. But of course, the process is difficult. But everybody's just trying to do their jobs. We wish it would be easier, but
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I would recommend people reach out and talk to people. I mean, like,
right. Yeah.
It sounds like kind of basic, but I think you need to reach out to the old finance people you used to work with, your old account people you used to work with, and ask them, hey, how do you handle this kind of a conversation with procurement? Because not every procurement person is different, and they all have different agendas. They're all looking for different things.
Sure.
So, but also having some idea on how to negotiate. And so you walk into, because I think, there's a lot of different meetings with procurement. One can be just to present your credentials, but then there's also the meetings where you're going through your qualifications and your readiness as a business. Do you have insurance? Do you have all these things? But also, there's the bigger thing, which is how you negotiate the contracts and the money. So it might also help to spend a little time learning about the MSAs and the contracts. And if you can, if you know somebody who's a lawyer, talk to them as well.
Lawyers help. Yeah. Lawyers help. Remember, go ahead.
I think some of it is just you learn by doing. I mean, you know what I mean? You have enough contacts, enough people to reach out to get advice, but then ultimately you just have to do and learn. That's
and listen, procurement's not the enemy. They're the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
So, they want you to win, but they have their job to do too. So, let's see. I mean, again, this is a slightly different interview because, here's one. So, you worked at Saatchi, but why is being independent important for you, and especially for your clients?
I mean, honestly, I think a lot of it comes down to, for us anyway, controlling our own destinies. I think everyone in this industry is being asked to do a lot more with less.
Sure.
And we want to be able to kind of have a little more control over what is the more and what is the less in the equation. And I think that that's a big part of it. We get to really focus our resources and spend more time on what we love, which is the work and building the client relationship, and a lot less time kind of doing the big holding company fires and the layers and the politics. And that's important, I think, for us.
Yeah.
I think also to build on what Susan's saying, it's I think indies are great for clients who want to work directly with senior talent and have more senior talent dedicated to their business. We all work on everything. So I think, you know, a client that comes to work with an indie or a House of Rabbits, you are the big fish, right? And a lot of times at other companies, you don't get the level of attention.
Here's your junior copywriter on your $4 billion piece of business.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So we like to make sure what we like about this is that we are closer to the clients and the business and the work. We don't disappear, and their business is just as important as ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about talent. How are you navigating that? Because I know the three of you have superhuman strength and superhuman ability, but the word human is in there, and we can't do everything all the time.
Yeah. I mean, the way that we are the most successful is, yes, we want to be all over the businesses and understand everything and be really close contact with clients. I think, you know, we have a track record, you know, talent, but we have such a big network. You know, I think something that we're really proud of are the people they're surrounded with that are the best. You know, like I feel like we can assemble teams. They're probably like better than us, more talented than us, and really like love what they do. They don't want to necessarily work for a big agency anymore, or they want to freelance. They want a different lifestyle. So we can bring those people together to really answer any brief. And this ability only indies have to expand and contract.
Yep.
Is what I think is attractive. I think it's the new model. That's the way the agencies are going to survive.
Right. And one of the things that has been talked about, you know, the traditional conversation around indies have been, well, we're more agile. You know what? Anybody can claim that now. So it's not something that can be exclusively claimed. The senior leadership part, yes. Being more media agnostic or agnostic in general. Someone told me this last month. I was tired of working for a math company because you're worried about shareholders as well. And not that you don't take care of a client's business at a holding company, but that's always hanging over you. I would also argue that creative and maybe strategic and media ambition is higher because you don't have the luxury of hiding anywhere. There's that piece of it. And then as it relates to the talent side of it, my guess is that you have a bench that you can look at and you can pick that. Absolutely. and what's going to work best for you. And I have to imagine that just makes things, and from hearing other indies, it's just great because then you do start building some consistency. And the other thing too is it may be a 3-month engagement for a team, and then they move on to the next, and then you find out, oh, they'll be available in 6 months. We'll just keep an eye on that. So it actually makes the talent side of it a little easier, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think also being able to, like you said, really pick people that we trust and we love working with. And the whole thing becomes much more energizing instead of depleting in terms of, you know what I mean? Really getting to curate your team and work with people that it just becomes a much better experience. And that shows up in the work. Obviously, the more you're enjoying what you're doing and the people you're working with. I mean, we always work very hard, but we also want to make sure that we kind of say work hard, play easy, like trying to make sure that we have this culture and this attitude of we're in it, we're working hard, but we're having joy. I mean, I don't know what other joyful process. And it makes the work so much better. It makes the process, even when things are tough, easier.
Right. So let's say there's some talent out there that you don't know. What would you say? Why should talent be putting House of Rabbits on their list? And what would be the best way to approach you if you hadn't known them before?
I mean, a couple of things. I think one, just kind of what Susan was saying, and it's a joke we always have, which is that we take the work and our clients' brands and business very seriously, but not ourselves. Yeah. And with that, we like to have a lot of fun. And we're always laughing and joking and sending each other jokes all day. Sometimes like not being productive.
All completely appropriate.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Don't make me call HR.
Yeah,
Sarah,
yeah. Oh,
Sarah, please continue. Please continue.
Who would be the agent? What would be the predator of a?
Daniela would be HR.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll add to my titles.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I think people who love creativity and craft, and people who can have fun and want to have fun, because why else work in advertising? I think everybody knows that. But also, I mean, I don't know, we're looking for people who want to learn. And I always feel like if somebody's capable of getting the job and getting their foot in the door, then they're worthy of being able to take things and run with them. And I am a big believer in letting people like Daniela, like Susan said earlier, also figure things out and not hand holding or micromanaging. I don't have time for that. So
nobody has time.
Right.
Daniela, this question for you: do you consider yourselves weirdos, misfits, or underdogs? and you can't pick all three.
Oh, okay. Well, we're rabbits, so and we're very much into DNI. So we are welcome to any sort of all of the above.
Okay.
All the above.
No, I'm talking about you.
I know, but we are rabbits. So I would say
I don't know,
because I can't pick one of the three. I don't know.
Well, you're gonna lean more towards one. Here. Let me put this back up for you to refresh your memory. There you go. Giant Flemish rabbit. There you go.
I would say, what is it? Misfit, underdogs, or
weirdo.
Weirdo.
You're not weirdos. You don't strike me as weirdos.
No.
You don't strike me as misfits.
Listen.
So there's only one left.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I guess underdogs, even though it would be,
But the thing is, everyone roots for an underdog, so let's take it. I'm all for it.
Fine. Take underdogs.
Final question. Each of you can answer this, whether they are a current client or not. Which CMO or marketer would you like to say hello to?
Well, we already said hi to Mark Pritchard.
Yeah.
So that was
hi, Mark.
Check.
Yep. Who else?
Go, Susan.
Well, I will say that I am slightly obsessed with dogs. So I guess it's an animal theme. So I would love, my dream account would be something like Chewy. Or some kind of pet account. I just think that it would be wonderful. I also think that, as a pet lover, I am surprised at how little I see Chewy out in the world. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
I don't.
I don't see it. So
you don't really?
No, it's not served up to me at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they already have you, Susan. They're not spending their money on
right. That is interesting. Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just got my delivery yesterday. So Sarah, who else besides Mark?
I love Peloton. I'm a big Pelotoner, and I also love working on brands or businesses that may have had some ups and downs. And able to turn things around. That's a big part of my track record in working with some brands in the past. So I love a good challenge like that.
You know who? So my family's from South Jersey. You know how they pronounce Peloton down there? Peloton. All right, Danielle.
Peloton.
Yeah, Peloton.
I would. I'm from Brazil. I don't know if you know this originally.
I got that. Yeah.
I would like to corner the Brazilian CMO market. So.
Oh Jesus! Don't say Fernando Machado.
No, but I don't know. Maybe Marcel Marcondes.
Oh, I like him. I interviewed him years ago. He's lovely.
Okay. So is this now the moment in the show where actually the CMOs come and join?
Yeah, where they come out. Yeah, no, not this one. not yet. No, we haven't gotten to that point yet.
That's an idea for you, and we'll come back for that.
No, God help us.
No, yeah. But
so you want to hang out with the Brazilians? I got you.
No, not hang out with the Brazilians. I want a great account.
I get it. No, and there's like a Brazilian CMO mafia, similar to like there's the emerging like West Africa, like you've got Kofi from Ghana, Kofi from DoorDash. So it's interesting. it's interesting how those regions have learned, because Brazil traditionally has been that sort of marketer / agency for a long time. But then you take a look at places like Ghana and Nigeria, and it's super, super interesting to me. So because they're getting more involved in stuff, and that knowledge is getting passed on, and then the experiences happening in West Africa, I think are. So just keep an eye on that. That's just me.
We want to say hi to them too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we want to, you know what, Doug? We want to say hi to all the CMOs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
You don't want to say hi to all of them.
Well, not okay.
Yeah. No.
All of them except for 4. I won't mention who they are. No, just kidding.
Part 2. That's part 2.
That's wise choice. Wise choice. Listen, I appreciate your support. We're on a mission ourselves, so appreciate you supporting the mission here at Indie Agency News, and just keep on keeping on.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doug.